I just wanted to go to sleep, you know, but they were working really hard to try to keep my eyes open, keep talking to them. I think I thought I would survive. Yeah, I was hopeful anyways. I'm Travis Muller. I'm 31 years old. I live in Windom, Minnesota, and I go to the Mankato limb lab office. Last night, my wife made egg bake, and it was so dang good. And I thought to myself last night, like, that's got to be one of my favorite foods. But that, or some kind of like a brisket or something. Country to Christian music and some rock, and jelly roll stuff is pretty good right now. I mean, I like that. For snowmobile racing, which is what I did the most of and the most competitive in that, I started that when I was about 5 or 6. I did make it to the top, the professional, the pro class in the national circuit, so that was pretty cool. I think the best finish I ever got was 6th, I believe, in an individual race. And then the dirt bike, I think I started that when I was about 7. I would like to get back to doing that. The heart rate gets really high, even sitting on the starting line, like on my watch, you know, I mean, it'll say 150 just sitting there. I think that the adrenaline kind of starts to just ramp it up. And yeah, definitely, you know, there's a lot of guys trying to be the first one to a narrow corner. And I mean, sometimes things go south and you crash, and so it's always a little nerve-wracking going into that first corner. But yeah, it's a lot of adrenaline. There's a high ceiling on how good and how fast you can go. Keep pushing the envelope with that is fun. And I'm kind of old enough now where I can do like the vet classes or the age classes, you know, 30 plus, 35 plus. I think next summer will be an option. And like now, my daughter is riding bike quite a bit, and so we've got a little track out here for her, and we ride, and so it's fun to do it together with her too. The whole summer before, we did a lot of camping. We'd go camping at the motocross races. There's a really good track over by Rochester, and so we went there I think 7 or 8 times last summer. We'd go on like a Friday, camp Friday night, practice Saturday, stay Saturday night, race Sunday, and come home. And so we were just really busy. We were really active, I felt like, and we were doing, you know, and then I always had projects going on here at home and doing landscaping or whatever. So felt like I was really using my legs a lot. Yeah, it was a Sunday, and we first we watched church in the house online, and then we loaded up our bikes and went to a paved trail down the road a ways. And so yeah, did the biking thing. We were probably there for an hour. Came back home, we lit the smoker up and put some meat on the smoker, some chicken, and I don't know what other piece of meat we had on there, but we got that going. And then we were gonna do a little house project or kind of get started on that. So we were actually gathering up some lumber and stuff. And then but then we had decided to go up and get that bin cleaned out, just get that done before we started deeper into harvest. And so we went up and did that, and there was only about that much grain in the bottom of the bin, and the sweep auger, it goes around the bottom of the bin floor like this to get that all to the middle and get it out of the bin. And so we were actually just about done too. And I don't know, yeah, I think I was shoveling some grain and evidently not paying attention enough, not focused enough, and it came up behind me and got me. And so then, yeah, I don't remember that little part of getting caught up in that auger, but I guess I'd shouted out to my brother, who was right outside the bin, yelled to shut it off, which, yeah, I don't remember. So it's kind of really amazing, you know, side note here, but it's amazing what your body and your mind can do without even knowing, really. But I yelled at him to shut it off, and he did. He was, and it's a good thing my brother was right outside the bin too, because otherwise my uncle would have had to hop out through the narrow little door, get out, and get around to the panel to shut it off. So anyways, they got it shut off, and then right after it was shut off, I think I remember then everything, because I kind of remember my uncle not panicking, but trying to figure out what to do. And then he, I think pretty much right away, he started to put his belt around my leg as a tourniquet, and then meantime he got out his phone and was trying to dial my dad, and I'm like, no, let's skip that phone call, just call 911. We need an ambulance here, you know, right now. Well, Dad can't do nothing for me, you know. And so I was alert and awake and, you know, kind of focused enough to make that call. And after kind of realizing what was going on, I looked down and saw both of my legs, you know, really injured, and I was, you know, yeah, I knew I was in pretty deep trouble, and it was going to be different. And yeah, I thought about that, what a good summer and busy summer we had and all the stuff we were doing, and kind of thought that's going to look different now, or, you know, now what, and why did this happen? Now I did kind of think, you know, now I can't do that right at first. Didn't really know as far as amputations and stuff. I just knew, you know, like it was bad enough where I kind of knew right away I wasn't going to be able to walk with those same legs anymore and stuff. And then I actually thought of, it was like then that those next moments I thought about Mike Schultz with the Biodapt company, and that he was able to kind of get back to doing the stuff that he liked to do before. So that was good to think about that. I don't remember exactly what was going on in my mind, but I feel like I maybe must have known that it'd have to be amputated almost, you know. But and then after that, it was more like just trying to get through those next 45 minutes. I was all kind of turned around. My legs, I think, were you know, kind of out like this, and I was leaning on this elbow, twisted like this, kind of uncomfortable. And I thought, I need to, like, I just want to lay down, you know. And I tried, and then it hurt way worse. So I stayed like that whole 40 to 45 minutes. And I was just trying to stay alive, you know, at that point pretty much. And I was dreading getting out of the auger because I was kind of tangled up in it. And I thought, oh, now I got to get out, because I could feel kind of pinned down by it. And when I would try to move to get kind of free, it hurt so bad. So I thought, how are they going to get it off? And it's going to hurt really bad. But the guys who did it and whoever was in there, that got me free from that. Once I was free, it was like, they're like, all right, here it goes. And it was actually better then. It relieved a bunch of pain. So yeah, they did a great job. I don't know how they did it. I mean, I'm a follower of Jesus, and I think that faith kind of did help a lot, and I just knew that he'd make a way, and you know, that it'd be okay one way or another. Yeah, they got me free from that auger, and then they had to put me on a tarp. The stretcher wouldn't fit through the door of that bin, so they got me on a tarp. Got me out. I remember at that time, you know, it was fading out a little bit at that. I just wanted to go to sleep, you know. I wanted to shut my eyes. You know, I just remember that feeling of like, yeah, just wanting to kind of close your eyes and stuff. But they were working really hard to try to keep my eyes open, keep talking to them. But anyways, then we went into the ambulance, and they held me in there until the chopper got there. But I got into the chopper. I remember the blades going the whole time, so like they never shut it down or anything. And then I can remember, okay, we're going up, and I could hear the engine rev up, and I could feel us go up, and I felt a tilt, like that when they accelerate to go forward. And that's all. There was just a lot, I feel like, going through my mind that I couldn't even comprehend at the time of like getting in the chopper. I mean, I was having dreams, which I don't remember what they were, and it was just, there was a lot going on, and I don't remember all of it. But I would say I think I thought I would survive. Yeah, I was hopeful anyways. Then the next, you know, memory I have was days later, waking up in the ICU, waking up, not being able to talk. I was intubated. And I remember writing some notes and stuff to my wife. And I know one of them said, "It's all good." And one of them said, I think it said like it happened for a reason or something.
What's your wife mean
A lot, yeah, everything. Her and my daughter, you know, and yeah, she was really good. I'm proud of her, how it must have been for her, and how I know it was those first few hours, days, and then weeks, you know, and what that was like, not knowing, you know, she didn't know, they didn't know what it would look like, what it would be like, how severe the amputations would be, what I would, you know, because when you're not an amputee and you don't know other people around you who are an amputee, you just don't know that much about it. Yeah, I'm proud of her for, I mean, she seemed like she really held it together through all of that, and it must have been extremely tough, so, yeah. There's friends of mine that once I got back home, they held a benefit for me at the community center in Windom, and so it was in January and really cold, and we were trying to decide, should we postpone it, should we not postpone it, you know, and we decided to, let's just do it, and we did it, and it was a packed house. I mean, we could not have asked for a better turnout, and we raised a lot of money and for me, and since I wouldn't be working, and there'd obviously be a lot more expenses, and it was wonderful. Everybody supported me a lot, and I'm really grateful for that. And everybody else too, the first responders that came up to the bin site that day, the EMTs, the firefighters and rescue services and stuff, and family, and my wife and mom and dad and everybody. It was a lot of people to thank. Mackenzie messaged Jasmine and said, you need to go to Limb Lab. And so it really made sense for us with where we were at location wise, and it's worked out so good. I'm so happy that they're there where they are, and that we found them and got linked up with them, and it's worked really good, because where I would go to therapy and still do sometimes is in Mankato, just down the hall from Limb Lab. So, I mean, you know, as much as you know how much you need different things worked on or a different socket. And me changing a lot in this first year, it's been a lot of stuff that they've had to fix for me as I've changed or as my legs keep shrinking, you know. So they've been great there, and it's just worked really good it's efficient, you know. I can go to therapy and go to Limb Lab, and it's just great. Because it's almost always needing, every time I go to therapy, it's like stop in Limb Lab for something, whether it's a new liner or socks or a whole different leg, or I know one time we tried new feet. I couldn't believe what difference those different feet made, just how different everything worked. And I ended up going with those feet, and it's just, yeah, it's awesome having them there and working with those guys. You know, the first feeling of the first time standing, I feel like some people want some answer like, oh, it was the best thing ever, it was so glorious. But for me, it was kind of like, it hurt, you know, it hurt a little bit. It didn't feel like it used to. It was kind of like, this is nice, but it kind of hurts. But now it's so much easier. Lately too, with this busy kind of season that we're in with farming, I don't wait to put my legs on. It's pretty much wake up, put them on right away, have breakfast if there's time, and then get out and start doing stuff. But it's just so much easier to do stuff with the legs. So it's really amazing what they've been able to make as far as components for the knee and the feet. Really got into mountain biking recently, kind of like a couple years before my accident. I really got into it. When I was in the hospital, like the month that I was in there after my accident, I was thinking about mountain biking all the time. Like, how am I gonna do it? How can I still do it, you know? And then now after the accident, it's like, I still like it and wanna do it, but it's definitely a little harder, and I haven't gotten to the point yet where I can like stand up to go down downhill stuff. But I think really soon I wanted to get back out and try it, and I just still building up some strength and stuff. You just gotta keep fighting, keep going. It's like just amazing what the body and the mind can do, and the right mindset, and kind of what a person can overcome. For me, faith was a big part. Our time here on earth is pretty short compared to the grand scheme of eternity in heaven. So it's like, well, if I got to deal 60 years here on earth with no legs, then that's not so bad compared to, you know, eternity. I'm pretty happy with how things are going and what I've been able to do so far. And yeah, I'm pretty proud how I held it together, I guess. I mean, It's just kind of what you have to do.
So what's life like now?
We're getting there. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with what I'm able to do and work in the field. And so it feels good to be able to help and be productive and get things done and get back to doing some of the hobbies that I like to do, and riding dirt bike and mountain bike and being able to lift my daughter up. Life is good, and I plan to keep making improvements and getting to do more and more stuff. So, I'm really happy with where we are now. I don't see a lot changing. If we're blessed with another child, then that's wonderful. I'd enjoy that. I'd just keep on keeping on and be out here on the farm and stay active. I would like to do some racing, get back into that a little bit of some kind, and beyond that, I'm pretty content.
Daughter's growing up and she's looking at this video. Would you have a message for her?
Just that, you can do it, whatever you're faced with, just if your dad can do it, you can do it, Yeah.